The logistical footprint of this operation is immense and impossible to hide, confirming that this is a coordinated global financial event, not a localized monetary adjustment. The whispers in the hallways of international financial institutions have grown into clear, unambiguous statements. The preparatory work is done. The key obstacle was always the integration of the Iraqi financial system with the global SPU-FT network under the new paradigm, and our sources confirm that as of 48 hours ago, the final compliance gates were passed, green lighting the entire process. This means the mechanisms for the dinar to be traded, recognized, and settled as a stable international hard currency are now functionally live. Think about the implications of that for a single moment. A nation long plagued by war and economic sanctions is now, overnight, preparing to step onto the world stage as a formidable economic power, its currency value backed not just by oil, but by a newly recognized and fully integrated financial sovereignty. The pressure valve that has been holding back the true value of the Iraqi dinar is about to be released, and the force of that release will be historic. We are witnessing the final hours of a currency trading as a fraction of its potential, and the first dawn of its life as a store of significant value. The term projection is being used in internal communications, referring to the projected new value's impact on the Iraqi national treasury, where estimates suggest the country's monetary reserves could multiply exponentially, instantly erasing sovereign debt and creating a surplus so large it could fund the reconstruction of the entire nation for a generation without foreign aid. This is the real endgame of the RV, the strategic objective that has been in motion since the fall of the previous regime. It is the ultimate declaration of economic independence. The citizens of Iraq, who have endured so much, are on the verge of a tangible, life-altering shift in their daily reality. But this is not just an Iraqi story, this is a global one. For the international investor, for the so-called Tier 4B individual who took a chance on this currency, the next 24 hours represent the point of no return. The speculation phase is over. The analysis phase is over. We are now in the execution phase. The countdown clock that has been a metaphorical concept for years is now a literal, ticking reality in command centers in Baghdad and in the global banking institutions that will facilitate this transition. The silence from mainstream financial media is deafening, but predictable. They are institutionally slow to move on events they have routinely dismissed for a decade, but their blackout cannot stop the tectonic plates of finance from shifting beneath their feet. By the time they are forced to report it, the new reality will already have been established, and the early movers will have already positioned themselves. The information we are sharing with you right now is the final intelligence briefing before the official announcement. The last clear look at the landscape before the seismic event changes everything. The breaking point is not a future possibility, it is the present condition. Final countdown is not a phrase for dramatic effect, it is the operational reality for the key players orchestrating this event. The rollout begins tomorrow, and the world will wake up to a new financial order, whether it is ready or not. So what does this mean for the actual mechanics of the rollout? Let's move from the strategic overview to the tactical execution, because understanding the process is key to navigating the initial, volatile hours after the announcement goes live. The Central Bank of Iraq, in coordination with the International Monetary Fund and its primary correspondent banks, will not simply flip a switch and announce a new number. This is a carefully choreographed sequence designed to maximize stability and prevent a speculative frenzy that could destabilize the initial launch. The process is expected to begin with an official statement from the Prime Minister's office, likely in the early morning hours Iraqi time, confirming the successful completion of the nation's monetary reform program and the commencement of the new dinar era. This statement will be deliberately broad, focusing on national pride and economic sovereignty. Almost simultaneously, the Central Bank of Iraq will activate its pre-loaded electronic platform, which will first reflect the new rate for internal interbank transactions and for pre-vetted international commercial partners. This is the first layer of the rollout, the wholesale layer. The rate you will see on international forex screens during this initial phase may be different, as those platforms will be reacting to the news and creating a spot price based on immediate buy and sell orders. This is where the first wave of volatility will occur, and it is crucial to not panic. The real government-backed and internationally settled rate will be the one on the CBI's platform. The rumors of the specific dinar to USD exchange rate have ranged from the conservative to the fantastical, based on the analysis of the budget documents and the requirements for Iraq to achieve monetary stability without hyper-inflating. The most credible intelligence points to an initial revaluation that positions the dinar not as a mere penny stock, but as a legitimate mid-tier global currency. This initial rate is designed to be strong enough to instantly cancel Iraq's sovereign debt in a meaningful way and fund its national budget from a position of strength, conservative enough to allow for organic, sustainable growth over the coming years without causing a massive, disruptive economic shock. The central bank will have a firewall team of market makers ready to intervene with massive dinar sell orders if the initial speculative spike on international markets becomes too extreme, effectively using their own currency reserves to cool down the market and anchor the price to their target range. This is a standard procedure in major currency events, but it has never been attempted on this scale. For the individual holder, the process of exchange will be phased. International banks will receive specific protocols from the Central Bank of Iraq and their own compliance departments. Initially, exchanges will likely be limited to certain amounts and may require appointments or be conducted through a dedicated online portal to manage the expected volume. How to exchange information that has circulated for years will finally be put to the test, and it is imperative to be patient and work only with fully authorized, reputable financial institutions. The first 48 hours will be a period of intense confusion and information overload. Mainstream news headlines will be scrambling to catch up, often reporting outdated or incorrect information. Your best strategy is to have a plan based on your personal financial goals, remain calm, and verify any critical information against the primary source, the official website of the Central Bank of Iraq. Their press releases and published exchange rates will be the only undeniable source of truth in the initial chaos. This structured, multi-layered approach is Iraq's shield against the volatility that has doomed other currency reforms, and it is the clearest indicator that they have learned from the global financial community's best practices. The entire operation is a financial D-Day, a landing on the beaches of the global economy, and every contingency has been war-gamed. From cyber attacks on the digital infrastructure to coordinated disinformation campaigns aimed at creating panic, selling among unprepared holders. The success of this first day is not measured by the highest possible spike in the currency's value, but by the establishment of a stable, credible, and tradable new asset class that the world can trust. The foundation for that trust is being poured in these final hours with every line of code, every interbank agreement, and every central bank directive. Tomorrow is not just an announcement, it is the activation of a new financial machine, and every cog, from the largest international bank to the smallest individual holder, has a role to play in its smooth operation. The world will be watching not just the number, but the process, and the integrity of that process will determine the long-term trajectory of the new Iraqi dinar. Now let's project forward into the immediate aftermath and the long-term global implications, because the ripples from this event will touch every corner of the global economy, reshaping alliances and redistributing financial power on a scale we haven't witnessed in decades. Once the new dinar rate is stabilized and the exchange mechanisms are running smoothly for international citizens, we will witness one of the most rapid and dramatic wealth transfers in modern history. But this is far more than a story about individual fortune. It is the recalibration of an entire nation's geopolitical standing. The nation of Iraq will instantly transform from a debtor nation into a formidable creditor nation with a sovereign wealth fund that could within a few years easily rival or even surpass those of established Gulf states like Qatar and the UAE. This new capital, measured in trillions of dollars of new purchasing power, will not sit idle. It will flood into global markets, seeking sophisticated investments in international infrastructure projects, cutting-edge technology firms, and stable government bonds across Europe, Asia, and the Americas. We are looking at the birth of a new financial superpower, one that will wield significant influence in geopolitical matters purely through its economic might, able to fund strategic initiatives and form economic partnerships that were previously unimaginable. The petrodollar system, a cornerstone of global finance for half a century, will face its most significant and direct challenger, as Iraq will now have the sovereign option and clear economic incentive to trade its vast oil reserves in a variety of currencies, including its own newly strengthened dinar, fundamentally altering the dynamics of global energy markets and potentially weakening the US dollar's dominance in international trade. For the individual investor who held dinar through the long, uncertain years of silence and skepticism, this is the ultimate moment of validation, a testament to a conviction that defied mainstream financial opinion. This is not a lottery win. It is the financial reward for understanding a complex macroeconomic and geopolitical play that the vast majority dismissed as a fantasy. The capital gains realized will be undeniably life-changing, and with that monumental shift in personal wealth comes a profound and non-negotiable responsibility. The first and most critical step before you initiate any large exchanges is to immediately assemble a dedicated team of elite financial professionals, a seasoned tax attorney specializing in windfalls and international assets, a certified public accountant with experience in seven-figure plus capital gains, and a reputable fee-only wealth manager who operates as a fiduciary, legally obligated to act in your best interest. The tax implications of such a windfall are enormous and incredibly complex, spanning capital gains taxes, potential international reporting requirements, and intricate estate planning. Proactive and expert planning is not a suggestion, it is an absolute necessity to preserve the vast majority of your wealth from being eroded by taxes and poor advice. Do not make the catastrophic mistake of thinking you can navigate this labyrinthine financial and legal landscape alone. This newfound financial freedom is the ultimate tool. And like any powerful tool, it must be used with wisdom, intention, and expert guidance. It is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to secure your family's future for generations, to invest in passions and projects you truly care about, and to make a lasting positive impact on your community and causes you believe in. However, this new status will also make you a prime target for unscrupulous actors, from long-lost relatives to sophisticated con artists pushing can't-miss investment schemes and complex financial products designed to separate you from your money. The rule is simple and must be non-negotiable. If you do not fully, completely understand investment, its risk, and its fee structure, you do not make it. Take your time. There is no rush. The money is not going anywhere. Park the overwhelming majority of your funds in secure FDs, insured accounts, or their equivalents while you simply breathe, process this new reality, and deliberately construct a thoughtful, long-term strategy for your life and legacy. This event, the Iraqi Dinar Revaluation, is more than a currency story. It is a historical pivot point, a testament to the resilience of a nation and to the power of patient strategic capital. It proves that the global financial system remains a place of profound, paradigm-shifting transformation where fortunes and nations can be remade in a single day. For you, the viewer, receiving this information at this critical juncture, your journey is just beginning. The information age has delivered this unprecedented opportunity to you, and now the responsibility to act wisely, prudently, and strategically with the outcome rests squarely on your shoulders. You have been given a key to a new future. The doors you choose to unlock with it, and the wisdom with which you walk through them, will define your legacy for generations to come. This is your moment.